I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Moats Theory of Life. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, I strongly encourage you to. This book not only is a fun read, but it's a guide to helping you become a person of impact and inspiration. If you are ready to take the next step to improving not only your life, but those around you as well, go get a copy of The Moats Theory of Life, and it's available at moatstheory.com. What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, bro?
Man, what is up, bro? For me, I'm hyped today. You know why, man?
I don't.
Bro, we got big time news, man. I actually kept this a secret from you. And just full transparency, I felt that it was important that if I were going to make this type of announcement, I wanted people to get your live reaction on camera as well, man. I'm that type of guy, right? I'm that type of guy. I do this for you. I do this for the people, man, for the subscribers that have been with us along this journey. This is for y'all, okay? As of today, for this whole month of November, baby, the podcast is officially sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The top-rated sportsbook app in America. That felt good to say because, number one, I mean, when we're talking about sponsorship, we know that's a big deal, especially for podcasts starting out. So shout out to DraftKings in that regard. But more importantly, man, we're talking about DraftKings, man. Who doesn't love the opportunity to make money? Who doesn't love a chance to not only make money, but to wager on your favorite teams and your favorite players? I mean, we talked about just last week, right? To start it out, the Steelers were, I think they were the underdog by 6.5 points. If I would have told you that, hey man, you got a chance to take the Steelers plus 6.5, dude, you were gonna win money, or you had a really good chance of winning, you would have took that, right?
You know how I was feeling about the game. I thought we were gonna win outright. I thought we had a good chance with Big Ben against their cornerbacks. So if you're giving me 6 points and I already think we're winning outright, makes complete sense to me.
Absolutely, man. So not only was I excited about that, but when you also look at the player props that player prop bets that they allow you to have and all these other things, I mean, it is just awesome. And it's all at the touch of a button on your phone, man. That's the beauty of DraftKings Sports app. And you know, a little bit of me for you, you know, for the first time users, because we I'm sure it's a ton of y'all that are already using DraftKings, but for the ones that aren't, any first time users, once you sign up and you use promo code Moats, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus, man. So when you think about just $1,000 in deposit bonuses, man, that is big time as well. That's even more incentive to sign up and make sure you're downloading the DraftKings Sportsbook app. But more importantly, like I said, make sure you use the promo code Moats, baby. So appreciate you, DraftKings. Now, are you ready to get into this podcast, man?
Sounds good to me.
Man, we got another big time game this weekend, baby. I'm excited, man. We taking this 7-0 show on the road again. We are officially road warriors now. So I'm excited about it, man. What about you, man? How you feeling?
No, so am I. 7-0. Cowboys aren't looking too hot, man. I was going through all my preparation stuff, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I'll put it that way.
You're going to be disrespectful.
I'm not. You think I am this whole podcast?
Well, no, I mean, anytime somebody throws a disclaimer out, it's kind of like, with all due respect, you know, you're going to say something very disrespectful. Or, I don't mean to be rude, you're going to say something rude. So by you saying, I don't mean to be disrespectful, it lets me know already. You put a disclaimer out, you going to say something disrespectful.
If I'm being honest, though, is it disrespect? I don't know.
Would you be mad if we lost?
Would I be mad if we lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
So disrespectful then.
What do you mean?
Well, because you're probably going to go on about, man, they just bums. You're not really concerned about them, man. There's no way we should ever lose this game. We should beat them 100-0. At the NFL level, that's disrespectful. So that's all I'm saying. So
not saying 100, not saying 100-0.
But why me asking, hey, would you be mad if they upset us? Then yeah,
I would have been mad about last week too. But
it'd be a different level of mad. We could both agree upon that. We could definitely agree upon that, man.
There would be, yes, yeah. Yes.
So that's the different level.
But what's wrong with that? I don't know what's wrong with that.
To each his own. That's all I'm saying is for you to act like it's not gonna disrespect them. Don't play it like that. Don't act like you care about their feelings, baby.
The Cowboys?
Yeah, you said you don't want to be disrespectful. You're not disrespectful to me. You're disrespectful to them.
I just don't want to come off like I'm overlooking it or anything. But just as from an a bird's eye view, there's not too much concern here.
Oh, wow. See, I figured you would go the other way, being, the experience that you've had being a part of Steeler Nation and Tomlin losses. You would be, oh, man, no, if anything, we got to be extra focused right now, man.
I don't get the feel from this team. This team very much feels like the 2008 Steelers to me.
Okay.
Where every game we're going to go in there, do what we do. There's no concern about dropping a game or anything. I just think everyone's laser focused and we have some type of mission on our mind, some type of, I don't know. We're just all locked in. That's what it feels like to me.
I like it then. Okay.
So that's why I'm saying I'm not concerned, but I'm also not concerned of a letdown either.
Right.
So like that's the play at hand here with me.
Okay, fair enough. I ain't opposed to that, man. Like I said, everybody handles it differently, man. But I think it's a game that they definitely should win. We felt like that throughout this season thus far, even when we talked about the quote unquote difficult matchups of teams like the Browns, Titans, and Ravens, just based on a record standpoint. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking about this team from the Steelers' perspective, there are not a lot of things that they do that could really give you issues. Now, yes, scenarios could happen where they lose, without a doubt. It's the NFL. That's what I was kind of getting to you with in terms of, man, there's never a quote-unquote easy game. I mean, we saw that just Monday night when you got the Giants facing the Bucs, who we feel like the Bucs are probably going to be one of the NFC representatives, when it comes down to NFC championship games and Super Bowls. And literally, that went down to the wire. I mean, one call going the other way could have a totally different ending to it as well. That's the only thing, man. When I think of the Cowboys in this particular matchup, it's like, just understand that part of it. But I don't think the team has those concerns, man. The team is focused. They're ready to go, as they should be. When you get to this point and you're 7-0, man, you understand the significance of it. And they're still playing for that first round bye. They're still
big.
Even though, shout out to the NFL, you see them flirting with potentially removing that right now, man.
That's if some changes happen to the schedule. They have to add another week, correct?
Yeah, well,
week or two.
That part of it, yeah. I don't know if it has to be 1 week or 2 weeks, but they're flirting with that idea as well, which would definitely suck because then you lose that incentive of getting the first round bye. So that's the only thing I'm like, as long as it still stays
home
as
field
is.
could be big though.
Yeah,
even though
definitely.
it's not as big this year with the whole less fans in the stadium.
Right.
I still feel like playing at Heinz Field in a playoff game means something as opposed to going on the road.
That's fair enough, man, in that regard. I mean, I don't think that's the issue. I guess for me, man, the biggest thing is just you don't want to keep making those changes on the fly from an NFL standpoint when they're talking about, all right, we've already seen them move a bye week this season. We've already seen them alter the bye week schedule in terms of how many days off a team is supposed to have. We remember that happening here in Pittsburgh and how the NFLPA had to give approval for that. That's my only thing. I'm just a little concerned. Like, man, y'all making a lot of these changes on the fly. I don't want y'all to keep doing that because then that could really hurt us down the line, man. If you're talking about a team that should have a first round bye, not even getting that, and even though you'll have a favorable matchup, you still run the risk of injury. You still run the risk of anything potentially happening in that particular game. I'm just like, yeah, can we stop touching the schedule? Don't just leave it as is. That's just my thought process with it, man. But this is definitely, man, I'm excited about this matchup, man. Number one is the Cowboys. And let's see, the last time we saw them was 2016? Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted it to end. So I feel like it's important that, we go down there and take care of business this go around, man.
No, same. I agree 100%. Now, where do we want to start? That's the whole question.
Man, we always start with offense. You know that?
Huh?
We always start with offense.
You pick which one.
No, it's on you, man. You pick the day. You pick the day. I like the dark colors, man. You about to go hack somebody right now, man.
Nah.
Jeez.
Let's see here. I kind of want to start with their offense versus our defense here.
All right, let's do it then, man.
Their offense is incompetent. It's incompetent, dude. We watched the Sunday Night Football game against the Eagles.
Yeah.
And they were just praying for field goals. That was their only way they were going to be able to score. I know the wind was kind of in play there, but that was with Ben DiNucci, who is their third-string quarterback. And now they're on their fourth string. And they don't even know who their quarterback is going to be at this point. It's either going to be Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert. They have weapons, obviously, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. Their tight end's not bad either, Zeke Elliott. Here's the problem. It's who's the quarterback. Like, you can have all these weapons. If you don't have a guy that's throwing them the ball, it's not going to matter. Because if this was Dak Prescott, I would say their receivers would be a big concern.
Absolutely.
But now I'm not concerned because they're going to be rolling with Cooper Rush, Garrett Gilbert. I was even trying to get a little scouting report, look up some highlights, look up some stats. They've barely played in the NFL. Garrett Gilbert played in the AAF for a little bit. But, man, there's nothing about their offense because of their quarterback that scares me. That's really it. Like, you could say, Zeke, but that's really all they have. So we're going to focus in on Zeke and make sure Zeke doesn't go off against us.
And Zeke is dealing with a hamstring injury as well. So I know he was officially listed as questionable, but they do anticipate him playing in the game. But just knowing going in that he already is dealing with a hammy, that lets you know, hey, if it goes bad early, they're not going to keep him out there. So I think that adds to the situation as well. And when you're talking about those two quarterbacks, Garrett Gilbert and Cooper Rush, Cooper actually backed up. I think they said he backed up Dak for
you know what, I did read he had some good preseason run or something like that.
You know how we feel about that,
bro. But that is my exact point. Right. You could say Gilbert started in the AAF for a little bit, and Cooper Rush had a good preseason run. That's all you can say good. And if that's the case, that's who you're deciding between your starting quarterback against. I guess you could say we're the best defense in the league.
I didn't think it was a debate right now.
Okay, I don't know. This is just off the top of my head. I don't want to come off as biased. We know I am biased, but still.
You're not biased? No.
I'll be straight up about it. I'm biased. That's not the situation you want to be in if you're the Cowboys.
Yeah, and it's funny, man, when we talk about the different positions, if this is a receiver, if they say they were missing Amari Cooper, say they were missing just Zeke, but you still had Dak at quarterback, it changes the face of how you view them. But not only is
even Dalton, and it's not at Dak's level. Maybe you could say, "Oh, does Dalton have a game here magically?"
Absolutely. Well, and my thing is this: less about the quarterback, right? Because we know that's a big element of this. But when you talk about their offensive line, it's not the offensive line that we're accustomed to seeing when it comes to Dallas. I think 4 of their starting 5 offensive linemen are on IR now. I think the only one remaining is Zach Martin. So when you look at that, and they have Cameron Irvin, who hasn't been the most productive in terms of blocking, and he's going to be your starting left tackle now that I think about it, which is even crazier, even scarier. That to me is the bigger issue, because when we talk about how to combat the Steelers defense, the first thing you have to do is protect. We talk about the front in terms of TJ, Bud, Cam, Tuitt. How do you protect your quarterback against those guys? And when you look at this offensive line and how banged up they are, that's a recipe for disaster. Because even Baltimore, right? Baltimore, we said the receivers, they weren't the most dangerous type of guys. And even their runners, we thought they were good as a group. But you want to just say, oh, this guy individual is the best back in the league. But their offensive line to start the game was really good. Now, obviously, it worked in our favor that they had 2 key injuries. And we saw once that happened, how it started to shift as well in terms of just dominating the line of scrimmage. The Cowboys are coming in like that, though. And for the defense now, we don't have to worry about gauging these guys on the fly or seeing who they put out there on the fly. It's like, no, we know we have a game plan. And for the Steelers guys, they are very familiar with Cameron Irvin from his time in Cleveland. So when you're thinking about all those things, that's the thing that I just feel like is the ultimate just backbreaker for them, regardless of if Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush, or if they even went back to DiNucci at some point in the game, regardless of how well those guys could potentially play.
It's a good point.
The fact that they can't protect those guys is a recipe for disaster. I'm not gonna lie, I was happy when Jerry Jones went on and said, man, I you know what? We felt like DiNucci was a little bit in over his head. We shouldn't have put him out there. He's not ready. Let's sit him this week, because this is going to get bad from protecting the quarterback standpoint. Like, those offensive linemen that they have in Dallas right now, they're not good enough to stand up against what we have, and especially how deep we are as well. We've seen now, not just our starting guys. We've seen Alex Highsmith come in and make plays. We've seen Isaiah Buggs come in and make plays. We've seen Henry Mondeau. And shout out to, I forgot who it was on YouTube, man. They gave me a little French translation. They said it's Mondeau, so I stopped saying.
Mondeau. What have I been saying?
I've been saying Mondeau. We both been kind of going back and forth. It's Mondeau.
I don't even know.
Yeah, so that's what they told me. So shout out to you. You know who you are. Yeah, so with Henry Mondeau, we saw him last week draw a big holding penalty and things like that. The rotation of bodies that we're going to be able to throw at that unit, I just don't think they're going to be able to stand it. And that's the issue, because they're not even going to be able to run the ball because of that element. At least, like I said, with Zeke, okay, if you have the O-line up front, we've seen scenarios where in the past they ride Zeke heavy and make something out of nothing. But they don't have that luxury right now. And we've seen just the past 2 weeks with some of those injuries, ever since Dak has went down, their offensive line has gotten more banged up, just how much of a struggle it's been for Zeke to have any type of productivity as well, man.
Dude, and I was looking up here. I'm trying to find this stat right here. I sent all my notes to my Gmail. It's loading up. Hold on. All right, dude. Here's their last 3 games, dude. Because I didn't want to get too in depth, at least with their offense, all the way to the beginning of the season, because they don't have Dak anymore. So the last 3 games,
everything changed for them once he went down.
I looked at their defense a little bit just throughout all the weeks, just because I guess their defense has stayed the same. Maybe some injuries here and there, but their offense, the last 3 games, lost to AZ 38-10, so they only dropped 10 points. Washington 3 points. Eagles 9 points. I just don't see their offense really doing it, or their offense doing anything against us with defense. I just really don't.
And I think it would be different too if they had the same quarterback throughout those 3 games, because I mean, just like in anything, you see, okay, the more you're out there, the more repetitions you get, the more comfortable you'll get, and guys typically will start to look a lot better as it progresses. But literally, you think about these past 4 weeks, they're on their 3rd different quarterback now, between Dak going down, Andy Dalton starting the game, now he's down. Ben DiNucci starting the game, now he's down. And now you're going to, like I said, Garrett Gilbert, and you can still potentially see Cooper Rush.
Did they officially make the announcement with Gilbert?
Well, they're leaning towards him. They have him as it stands today. That's who they have listed as the starter.
Oh,
yeah. So that's the only thing. That's why I just keep saying Garrett Gilbert, because that's who they technically have today as the guy taking 1 reps. But that could easily change tomorrow, and that could easily change Saturday. And if Jerry Jones calls down on Sunday and says, you know what, I want this guy to start, we know that's how they run their organization. It'll happen. Not saying it's the best way to run it, which we can all agree upon, but that's just how Jerry operates. So that's why for me, it doesn't pose a lot of threats, because either way, it's going to be a new quarterback, new cadence. They all have to get used to how he sets the tempo of that offense, the things that he's good at or not good at. It's just too many variables at that quarterback position. And we talked even last year about this in terms of, man, when you're going back and forth between Mason Rudolph for a couple of games, then Duck for a couple of games, then you try to go back to Mason, then back to Duck. It's just too much movement at that position. That's too critical of a position to have that open door and that carousel going on like that. And ultimately, that's what they're having to experience right now. And luckily for us, we get to catch them while they're still in the middle of it. I mean, I think it'll be different 2 or 3 weeks down the road where they'll say, okay, this is the guy we're sticking with, whether it's Dalton coming back from COVID or however that thing plays out. They'll at least have somebody to have multiple starts under their belt, because right now that's going to be problem number 1 for them.
They still in the East, 2-6.
Oh, they're still, yeah, absolutely.
Are the Eagles?
They're like 1 game, I think 1 game behind right now. Yeah, they could legit win their division, man. That's the thing.
Hold on, let me look this up, because the Eagles, they have 3 wins.
The Eagles have. It has to be 3. It can't be 4.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, because they lost
3.
Baltimore.
They have a tie though. That's the thing. That's probably that gives them a little bit of a nod over. All right, so yeah, Eagles are 3-4-1.
Yeah.
Cowboys 2-6. That doesn't look too good for them.
Yeah, so they're still in the mix though for the division.
What do they have technically? They don't have the games back here. What is that in terms of games back? That's got to be like
1.5 maybe.
Is it 1?
Tops, yeah.
1.5.
Tops 1.5.
2. Yeah. That tie probably gives them a half though.
That's what I'm saying. 1.5 then. Because you said they're 3,
but they
in 1, right?
3-4-1.
Yeah, and they're 2-6.
All right, so I don't know. Yeah, it's around there.
They're definitely in the mix of it, and that's the thing. They still have to see all those teams again in their division. They could easily win 2 more division games and be hosting a playoff game. Like, that's the state of the NFC East right now.
What's crazy to me is, I mentioned it earlier about the receivers, Zeke. Like, I think each of the receivers, Gallup has over 400 yards. Their tight end has over 300. Like, these are on pace for really good seasons.
Very talented, skilled players. And
Cooper has 500. CeeDee Lamb has over 500. I think Zeke's still on like a 1,000-yard year. Right. He's definitely having a down year, though.
But we even talked about it before the season in terms of just talented rosters. We said, man, the Cowboys are talented on offense. They have a ton of pieces in the addition of CeeDee Lamb. To already a group that had 2 just really good receivers that, man, I mean, from a skill position standpoint, you're going to be hard pressed to find a better group. But when you take away the quarterback, man, it changes everything, because it doesn't matter how talented those guys are around you if you can't get them the ball. And then the O-line element makes it real Cleveland-like in terms of, we said, man, last year, dude, Baker had weapons around him, but they couldn't protect him. Now this year, they could protect him a little bit better, but there's other things going on, you know? So for me, man, that's the biggest issue with them. It's like, you have a ton of talent, a ton of accessories, but you don't have the core pieces, which is your quarterback and your offensive line, man. So Yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle for them from an offensive standpoint.
Anything else we're missing here?
I don't think so.
That's what I mean. I just don't know. I just don't know what there is to say or what more there is to say about this matchup.
Yeah. Because I'm like, even if they're having even if they can run really good routes, and we do know from a coverage standpoint, if you're talking about just trying to match up with CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, and Gallup, that could be a nightmare at times. But knowing that they don't have the quarterback to get those guys the ball,
like you mentioned, the pressure, because pressure has made up for some of our lapses in coverage.
Absolutely.
I don't know, dude. There's nothing because we go through this podcast about like, all right, what's the chance or what's the way that our opposition could potentially win this game or like give us some trouble.
For me, the only way I see the scenario where they have success or enough success to win a game is with their defense, not with their offense.
It's something fluky. It's like a pick six. Maybe they get a punt return for a touchdown, a fumble for a touchdown. The
spread, for example, right? The spread, I think, is at 14.5, right? So it's a two touchdown spread. That's what the bettors think the gap is between these teams. That's easily a strip sack return to a crib, a pick six.
Or even strip sack right in the red zone or something like that.
And we saw even the Dolphins last week. I mean, when they beat the Rams, Tua didn't have some great game. I think Tua had maybe 90 yards total passing, but they scored on defense. They found different ways to impact the game and win a game that none of us really thought that they should win because the Rams at the time they were playing pretty well.
So I guess that's the one, if we want to transition to their defense for their offense, that's kind of their hope. Even though you got to
protect the ball, man. You got to protect the ball.
Even though I'm not concerned about that either. I mean, their defense is the worst rushing defense in the league. They've let up tons of yards.
But this is the thing. Those numbers are going to lie to you.
A little bit, yes.
When your offense is as bad as their offense is, it puts you in very, very bad situations. You're always playing from behind. It's just a lot that goes on with that. Now, I think for me, when I look at their defense, it's less personnel, it's more so effort and communication. Like you'll see times.
Oh, dude, they have a bunch of talent.
Yeah, they have a ton of time, but you'll see times where literally they just look like they're quitting on plays. And then, I mean, I forgot which player it was. You remember after the Browns game where they're asking the man, do y'all take plays off? And he's like, yeah, we're not going to play hard every game. I mean, or every snap. Like, we take some plays off. And I was like, bro, you might do that, but you definitely ain't supposed to say it publicly. Like, you tripping. But hearing that along with the miscommunications that they're already having is a recipe for disaster. You can't have mental errors and be a lazy team on defense. Like that's not going to bode well. And from a morale standpoint, they just don't look like they're having fun. They don't look excited to be out there. It's more so, man, we're counting down the weeks before we ship our cars and go home. Like that's the type of mentality I see when I see them on tape right now.
It's weird because you could look at some of their first couple games on defense where Matt Ryan, the Browns obviously obliterated them on the ground. What's the other team isn't there another team that had a bunch of passing yards on them, or am I missing something? I know Matt Ryan went, Russell Wilson. It was Russell Wilson went off. He had like the 5 touchdowns over 300 yards. It's weird because you have that, but then you also have when they faced Kyler Murray, like he didn't play too good in terms of passing because the Cardinals' rushing game was really good. And Kyler had
that was Dalton's first start, right?
I think it was his first start. Yeah.
Yep.
So and then you look at last week with Carson Wentz, he kind of struggled against them. I don't know if that's completely more of Wentz almost giving them the game himself because he had the 2 fumbles, the 2 picks didn't really. Those might have been bad decisions on Wentz's part.
And I felt like too. That game, if Philly can take care of the ball, Philly was able, I felt like, to move the ball.
Oh, they were. Yep.
So that's my thing with that. Like, you take away those turnovers, you're going to have those opportunities. I mean, in terms of just thinking about their defense from a productivity standpoint, it's weird because, like you said, you watch them and they have talent. I mean, when we talk about Aldon Smith and DeMarcus Lawrence, those are very talented players. We talk about their linebackers in terms of Jalen Smith. I know Leighton Vander Esch, he might be. Oh yeah, he should be back by now because I know he was dealing with the whole neck thing.
But he's back.
He's good. Yep. And then I'm drawing a blank on the other guy. You already said Jalen Smith. Yeah, Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. Yeah, because Alden's technically the third linebacker, but he's more of your
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah,
they threw Randy Gregory in there. That's
what I was like. Yeah, what was his name? Randy.
Okay.
Yes. I was like, I know it's another edge guy, man. Where's this guy's go?
Yeah. They've been throwing him in there.
But when you think of those guys, those are very productive players. I mean, throughout their careers, we've seen all of those guys at some point in time get nice compensation too to back up that play. But it's just, I don't know, man. When you watch it, it's not popping like that right now, man.
No. So what are you saying about the defense? I mean, they have let up a bunch of these rushing yards here. I know, like you said, some of it does have to do with just game flow and how that has gone, but it still goes back to, I don't know what there is. If we just do what we're supposed to be doing, we're 7-0 for a reason. Cowboys are 2-6. I know part of that is just no Dak and how incompetent the offense is, but their defense has been pretty consistently below average throughout the whole season.
My biggest concern is, like I said, just protecting. You just have to protect. If you protect, they don't have the people out there that are going to be able to match it with our receivers or our tight ends. I think that we'll be able to run the ball on them as well, but it starts up front. And even more so when you look at that roster, the guys that we named, that's all in the box. That's front seven. That's those type of guys. Their corners aren't matching up with our receivers. Their safeties aren't matching up with our receivers. But the only thing out of this whole matchup that we talked about that could potentially give us an issue is their rush, and that still isn't consistent enough to
we've handled. Right. I don't know. Do you want to say as a whole better rushes, but like going up against Myles Garrett, Broncos with Chubb.
Yeah. And we can go down the list like
JJ Watt.
This is a battle-tested group. They've played some of the higher-end talent. We talked about Myles Garrett.
Obviously the Ravens too last week.
Right. And Calais Campbell. We've seen some of the higher-end. We've also seen guys who have more legacy when we're talking about a JJ Watt. Then we've also seen good collective unit in terms of Philly.
Titans.
And Titans as well with Connie and that group with Harold Landry as well. So we've seen them play different styles of rushers, whether they are a solo guy or if it's a group guy, if it's a depth guy or a depth team. We've seen that and they've been able to handle it. So that's why I'm still not overly concerned about it. I just feel like if we're talking about a point of emphasis, if we're talking about what has to take place, this O-line has to protect against these guys right here, because that's the absolute only way that they will be able to create any type of negativity for us.
Yeah, same. I mean, we just take care of the ball, because I think, what was it? They have 7 takeaways this whole season. 4 of them came in that Eagles game.
Yes.
So 3 all the way up to that point. So that's 7 games. They only had 3 turnovers.
Now the caveat could be that, man, they're just coming off of that performance as well, right? So
I feel like from watching that game, do you kind of feel this too? Wentz basically gave it to them, those turnovers.
Yeah, but some people would say that Wentz is a top tier quarterback, so I don't want to say that he gave them anyway. I would have to say that, They just, play really well against an elite level quarterback, because, I mean, people will say that Wentz is a top 10 guy. We've had
He's not making the best decisions as of late.
Very
He's definitely
true.
Not.
But that's the whole thing. I mean, it just depends on how you want to view Wentz in that situation. Some people will spin it like, oh, man, it was good, man. Defense balled out. Cowboys, they turned the corner. I'm personally not buying it, but I'm not the biggest Wentz believer. But,
right.
That's how I feel about him anyways.
Right. What's your keys? Like, what would you go into the game? I know you said your point of emphasis. What would you do? You say you got the first 20 plays.
Yeah, so if I'm the offense, first 20 plays, I first want to establish the run. I feel like you have to establish James Conner early in this game, because by doing that, it makes them, first off, man, it's no worse feeling than getting the ball ran down your throat. You can throw the ball and hit me on a bomb. I'm not losing sleep. I'm chalking it up as a one-off. You can throw it downfield. You get a lucky PI. I'm not losing sleep over that. It's fluky. It comes with the territory. If you march the ball down my throat 7, 9, 10 plays, just hammering the ball, running it, that's a sick feeling, because there is no excuse. I can't say, oh, they got lucky because of that, or, oh, man, he just threw it up and, something happened. Like, nah, that whole thing goes out the window. And I personally feel that the Steelers offense is more than capable of doing that. I think you give them a heavy dose of James Conner early, and then from there, that's going to make the passing element that much more easier for Ben and these receivers. I don't think that you come out and try to just air it out like how Ben was in the second half against the Ravens. I don't like that approach, because you expose yourself to unnecessary negative potential. We talked about their edge rushers, right? By coming out here and just trying to throw it to start the game off, if they get lucky and get a strip sack, that changes the whole.
Or if they see you're just being one-dimensional.
Right, that changes everything. Or they get a lucky pick off of a tip or something like that. Then they got that feeling of hope. Now we're over here like, dang, all right, defense has to make a play. If defense doesn't get the job done, they score. Now we feeling, it's not as easy as we thought. Whereas if you come out and you run the ball down their throat to start this game off, James Conner caps it off with a nice punishing run for a touchdown, their body language is going to let you know that they are already tanking. And then from there, now, okay, now you got to play big ball with me. And now we can play out of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends and still be able to take shots. We can bring out bigger body personnel groupings and still hit Claypool or Deontay or James Washington, hit those guys downfield. That's there. But I feel like you have to start the game off with the run. So that way, man, you minimize those edge rushers and ultimately get them taken out of the game early too. Because once they check out, they're checking out. This is not a team where they're going to check out and then they want to come back and play hard and then they want to check out again. For them, when you watch them on tape, you can see when they officially say, all right, man, we're done with this game, it shows on tape and it looks bad. It's no, I mean, you've seen it, man. It's bad. It is bad. And that's like, when I'm just looking, I'm just like, I know for a fact that we can make them do that. In terms of making a team quit, we talk about like we would have certain games we would go in and that would be the objective. We're like, man, we know this isn't a good team. If we get on them early, we can really make this team quit. And this is how we have to do it. And we'll go out there and execute it. And a lot of times it would work out just like that. And this is a scenario, the perfect scenario for that, man. And why not be another good week to get the younger running back some more touches?
I was going to say, like, why not make this a game? We get Mason some time in the fourth quarter. We get McFarland some time.
The same way we did versus Cleveland, I fully anticipated being like that. Now, obviously, Cleveland happened faster because of the turnovers we were able to create on defense. And I think we will be able to do that again because I do believe that with, last week versus Baltimore, we kind of were handcuffed in terms of the exotic coverages we would do. It was more simulated stuff where it looks like it's a pressure. You might even see Vince Williams blitz. So you might see Cam Sutton blitz. But when you pause the tape, it's just 4 guys rushing. Everybody else is in coverage. That's what a simulated pressure is. So we had to do a lot more of that and still play basic cover 3. So that's obviously why Lamar was able to hit some of those passes because it's just soft spots in the zone. Whereas this week, because of the running element being gone, they get to go back to some of those exotic man coverages that we saw where Minka's now in the box and he's the low robber, the guy that's reading the quarterback and making a play. And with these young quarterbacks or inexperienced quarterbacks, they're going to tell you where they're throwing. They're not on that level where they're looking right to look you off and then go back left on the backside. They're not capable of that at this stage. So I look at Minka and I'm like, man, I can see a turnover this game. I see somebody creating that turnover because they're not going to be capable of doing the things necessary to pass on our defense. So for me, when we're talking about the offense, I'm like, man, don't even give them that luxury. Run it down their throat, get them behind early, make them have to be one-dimensional, and then we are going to feast. And then from there, man, third, fourth quarter hits, like you said, get the young boys in there. Mason, you get your reps. McFarland, you get a rep. Benny Snell, you get a rep. Jalen Samuel, you get some of that too, man. Like that's what I want to see from this game.
What would we do at receiver? We'd still have some of our key guys in, I guess.
Technically, all of our key guys are young.
I know.
that's the problem. Right?
Defense.
Who's our wildly vetted receiver?
Juju.
Or either him or Ray McLeod.
I guess.
I must say, those are the...
He's young, though, too.
I'm just saying in comparison to, like, Claypool and,
and
Deontay.
James Washington, only 3 years.
Yeah.
Defense, it'd be Highsmith. It'd be...
Ola Daney, he would get a lot more, and then you're going Bugs.
Justin Lane, Sutton.
Yeah, well, Justin Lane has been playing a good amount due to the Mike Hilton injury, so you would definitely see him out there a lot more from that standpoint, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that would be a good goal. I just really don't. I know from an NFL player standpoint, and if I was an NFL player, I would like to think I'd be thinking this way, not overlooking the opponent. I'm studying all week. I'm like, I got to come out here, play the best I can. I don't care who's against me. I'm going to be playing to the best of my ability. I just don't see it, though, in terms of me analyzing this game where I'm concerned about anything, dude. I just feel like we should come out and win this. And like I said earlier, I just have that feeling with this team that we aren't going to be overlooking. So as a fan sitting back, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a good week for us.
Well, and I will say this is one of the biggest reasons Coach Tomlin always talks about nameless gray faces. Because we talk about the past 3 games, right? And how everybody and their mother is going to hype it, right? But if you allow yourself as a player to allow that to alter your preparation, what are you going to do? You're going to over-prepare. You're going to overthink it. You're going to get out there and be pressing too hard, right? Because, man, this is the big game that everybody's talked about. But then you flip it, and now you got this matchup where, oh, well, man, they're 2-6. Literally, everybody and their mother is telling you how easy of a game this is. You leave the facility, your significant other, oh, man, I should blow them out. We're up here, oh, man, y'all be done early by halftime. This is why Coach Tomlin always talks about nameless gray faces, because if you allow your preparation to change and be dictated by the opponent, you will always be set up to fail. If you allow yourself to get high certain weeks and low certain weeks, it's a recipe for disaster. You just cannot do that. So that's the biggest reason why in the facility it's always nameless great faces. It's never, oh, we're playing the Cowboys this week or we're playing the Ravens this week. They got this guy and that guy, because it's going to allow that human nature to seep in. You always have to just look at that thing as, man, I don't care who the opponent is. This is how I prepare. This is my mentality when I go out here. And it has to be like that, which those guys have. And like I said, man, being able to talk to some of those dudes, man, on the regular, they fully are operating with that mentality. And I fully anticipate them taking care of business, man. I'm excited about it, man.
Yeah. I mean, this is a quick preview. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
well, and I was gonna say this too, man, because obviously I feel like we've pretty much deep dove into this, and we'll get the predictions. But another thing I want to talk about, we'll do it after the prediction, man. We'll get to it. But from a score prediction, I guess we already know.
Whoa, what's this? You're teasing the topic, but then you don't drop the topic. Now we got a score prediction.
That's the tease, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
because I'm already excited. I want to get past these score predictions into the tease. All right, 27-13.
You gonna tell us why? Because I remember last week I jumped on your toes. Last week you said 27-13. I was like, well, we already know it's gonna be 27-13. And then you're like, well, it's because of this. So I just didn't know if you had.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying that.
Because of what reason? I'll give you the main reason. It's because we keep winning as I predict. 27-13.
Okay.
So wait, how the score could be 27-13?
Yeah. Usually give us some reason of, man, I think it's gonna be a touchdown, a field goal. We're gonna get this.
I'll be honest, them getting 13, I don't know how the hell that's happening.
Okay.
And I hope we get a little bit more than 27. So I do not have a synopsis on this one. I'm just saying it because we keep winning with that record. And my beard is here, and you're wearing the hat every Sunday.
Yes.
So that's what we got to keep consistent here.
Okay.
And whatever anyone else is doing out there, I know some people have been saying, yo, I've been doing this, and we've been winning. Everyone just keep that going.
I like it, man. So for me, man, I'm going 24-3. The only reason I don't have it in terms of the only reason I don't have it where they're going to score 30 and 40 points, because we know for a fact once they get up 3 scores, they're going to start the conservative play calling. We saw that in the Browns game when they scored. I mean, dude, the pick 6 was obviously a big part of the start of it, but we saw in the second half how conservative the approach was.
Ben didn't have many stats.
Yeah, and it went heavy run game. You know, it was no more they're trying to stretch the field. And I just know, and it's more so because of the respect at the NFL level, right? We talk about the competition. We know how tight it is anyways based on personnel, but there's like a mutual respect factor I always feel like in these games where, yes, we're up, but unless it's pick 6s and punt returns, because that type of stuff you can't account for, right? We can't say, well, hey, you get a pick 6, don't run it back. Or you get a fumble recovery, don't run it back. Though when those things happen, then you start getting into the 30s and the 40s. But a lot of times in the NFL, once a team gets up 3 scores, they aren't going to try to keep running it up. It's not like college where you got to worry about style points for votes and things along that nature. So that's the only reason why I don't anticipate it getting into those, higher up 30s and stuff like that. Even though we know we're fully capable of that, I just don't think they'll do that. But the reason, I mean, when you said, I was wondering if you were going to keep the 13, I just don't see them getting, I mean, if they score 13 points, I'm going to be upset with our defense. That's all I'm saying, man. Because they should not be able to move the ball on us. They shouldn't. And I feel like the field goal, I threw that in there as a fluky thing because, I mean, when you talk about pitching shutouts, it's just hard to do. And then especially if you're up big, like I anticipate us being, you start rotating in other players.
Is that the mindset? Pitch a shutout this week?
I mean, you could preach it, but technically every week we pitch a shutout.
Okay.
But even though it's funny thing though, that's never actually a goal on, like, so every game as a defense, right? You'll go in and you'll say, these are our goals for the games as a defense, right? And
stats?
Yeah, so it's always the exact same. So we'll set this at the beginning of the year. So we'll say, hey, we want to get at least 3 sacks, 1 turnover, under 100 yards rushing, 17 points or fewer. And depending on the defense, you might change that 17 to 15 or fewer, 13 or fewer. You might change it from 100 yards to 80 yards. But that's going to always be the check mark. So even though we always joke about, man, you want to get the shutout, we always laugh about even as players, man, let's get the shutout. From a coaching staff standpoint, from a player personnel standpoint, you just know how hard that is. It's kind of like when the Steelers came out a couple years ago and said, we're going to average 30. It's like, bro, you know how hard it is to average 30 points a game in the NFL? Like, it hasn't been done.
Are we this year?
Well, I'm like,
I think we are.
But this is the thing. I'm like, can you do it? Sure. But do it over 16 games is difficult. That's the only thing. So that's why it's like, even though we say some of those things, from a realistic goal standpoint, a lot of that isn't even like there.
Are we close? Am I off on this?
I don't know. I never look at that stuff, bro.
I think we are close to 30. I just thought of it with you bringing it up. But yeah, all right, those are the score predictions.
Man, so we got our score predictions in, right? But in the midst of me feeling like, I'm loving these surprises I'm dropping on you today, because obviously, I get to unveil the big news earlier on in the podcast about the sponsorship with DraftKings.
I was stunned.
You were, but I also have a new. I got my phone because I got the DraftKings app, right? The DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you haven't got it yet, I strongly suggest you download it. And if you're a first-time user, make sure you use promo code Moats so you can get up to $1,000 in deposit bonuses, right? But I'm excited because I wanted to unveil this segment, man, where we really get to focus on DraftKings and more so the betting element of it, right? Because we all love the opportunity, the chance of winning money. I mean, who doesn't want a little extra juice on the game? And I got two. These are my two for the week, right?
Yeah.
When we're talking about the two prop bets or the two bets that I think people should really look into, man, we got the Steelers. They're minus 14 in this game, right? That means they're favored by 2 touchdowns, okay? So I'm looking at that and I'm saying to myself, do I think the Steelers?
Hold on.
What you got for me, man?
Well, it could be simple. I mean, we just did our score predictions, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
put your money where your mouth is.
I'm sitting here like, man, they're minus 14 in terms of the prediction. I love it. Because we both have our predictions with them covering, right? We definitely think they'll cover this game.
Actually, mine's
no, you're not covering.
Mine would be a wash.
Yeah, yours is a push right now. Mine would cover. So I'm fully believing that they're going to cover this spread, man, of being a 2-score favorite. We talked about how talented this team is and how much of a mismatch it is when you're talking about the Cowboys on defense in particular. So I fully anticipate them being able to cover that right there as a minus 14. All right, now my second one that I really feel like we should really, have eyes on is the over and under. Okay, so as it stands right now, the over under for the game, they have the Steelers anticipating to score over 29.5 points. So you would have to score 30 points, right? So the over is minus 715 in favor of the Steelers. That's not good odds. We don't like that. But the under is plus 440. That is big time money right there in terms of your odds, in terms of tripling your money. So we both predicted the Steelers are going to win big, or I said that they would win and cover, but I don't think that they score over 30 points.
You said 24.
I think this is the setup right here, man. I think this is the one. So I'm fully excited about it, man. If you want to make some money, if you want the opportunity to make some money, these are the odds you want to go with. These are the picks you want to go with, baby. So you know what to do.
Yo, can I say something about
what you got, man?
I know I said 27-13. I would take the Steelers with the minus 14 just because that's me. And I told you, we all know why I'm picking 27-13. It's not about the actual score.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping and I'm thinking.
It's more we got to keep the tradition alive.
And I'm thinking we get over that 14 mark in terms of the win here. Now, with this one, you're right about the odds because and we've talked about it a little bit with the respect factor. We're just going to be running it out in the second half, blah blah blah. I feel like it's a challenge now. I feel like it's like all right, see if we're going to get that over 30. I'm daring you to bet this. So,
I think it's going to happen, man. I don't feel like we're going to go over the 30 mark. I love what we got going on right now, man.
I feel like I got to rival you then.
All right,
and say the over.
I'm gonna take the under because the odds. I like the money element of it.
I'm actually surprised about that odds.
Yeah, the odds are bad to go over 30, man. I don't want to touch that.
Well, they're saying it's that much of a favorite. Then you know what? I'll take the front runner there. I'll say we go over 30. So my score projection is 27-13. I'm saying we go over 30, and I'm also saying the Steelers win by over 14. I'm a mess here.
It's all good, man. But either way, we're gonna enjoy the game, and I know you are as well. But what I wanted to talk about, man, was with Avery Williamson, man.
What about him?
Man, my vibe for him, I'm really...
Wait, hold on. I wasn't expecting this.
What were you expecting?
No. I don't know. So have you seen some of his interviews and stuff and his social media? Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
So for me, I actually had a chance to do an interview with him.
All right, man. I forgot you told me this. Yeah.
So I actually had a chance to talk with him, man. This would have been Tuesday when he had this has probably been 24 hours of him getting the trade and things like that. But I'm excited because, man, number one, his energy, man. Like this dude, if you've seen him on social media, dude.
Let me put it this way. I've seen the thumbnails or just a quick thing. I actually have not watched them and listened to any of them.
Bro.
They look like he's excited.
Yes, absolutely, man. And I'm excited for him because obviously, Coach Tomlin, he comes out on Tuesday and he says in the press conference that, man, this guy, we're bringing him in. He's more depth. He's going to be, a rotational guy early on. And obviously, Steeler Nation reacted accordingly. Like, oh, man, this is Avery Williamson. Like, what do you mean you bring this guy in to back up Vincent Spillane? And initially, I'm thinking to myself, man, if I'm the new guy, I might feel some type of way about that. But with him, man, he was completely on board with it in terms of, man, I'm just trying to get here and win, just trying to do whatever it takes to help this team out. And knowing also that he knew that he was going to get traded going into that game versus the Chiefs, that was another element where he's like, dude, like I
see,
knew.
I'm so out of the loop here.
Yeah.
So that was something that happened.
Yeah, so he was like, he knew, and to still see his effort in the game, to still see how he was still working out. Granted, they ended up getting blown out, but it's the Chiefs going against the Jets as a whole. How you think it would look, but seeing his effort, seeing some of the things that he was doing in that game, man, I'm just excited because I think he's gonna be a critical piece as this thing progresses. You already have the carryover for him as well from being in Dick LeBeau's system and playing under Dick LeBeau and under Keith Butler. They are very similar. It's
interesting.
Like very similar.
I didn't think about that because he played
Yeah.
at Tennessee.
Absolutely. His first 3 or 4 years, I want to say, were in Tennessee. And obviously he got paid and went to the Jets from there. But man, knowing that carryover and knowing how familiar he is, I think he's going to get up to speed a lot sooner than we initially talked about. Because we talked about it on Monday when it had just happened. We didn't get a chance to hear all the details and the storylines and everything else was going into it. And now knowing that, dude, I just think, man, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, bro, he can be that guy out there, man, because from an athletic ability standpoint, he's not Devin Bush, and we said that, but he definitely is a more athletic version or a better athlete than both Vince and Spillane as it stands today. And when you just look at his pedigree and what he's been able to accomplish, man, I just think that this is going to be a big time piece for us. And then obviously we got Ulysses Gilbert, who they just put on injury reserve for the back injury. Knowing that you have that type of piece that you just added to your roster, man, I think that is a huge boost for us, man.
The Tennessee and Dick LeBeau element is something I didn't really think of. Mm-hmm. Now it makes sense as to why he was maybe at the top of our trade targets. Because obviously I go back with this. Oh man, Deion Jones would have been the best, but maybe that's just another added element as to why Williamson could be a better fit. I don't know what we would have had to give up for Jones or anything that, but still, just this trade as a whole, I'm even liking it more as you bring this stuff up.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of want to talk, because I know we both were seeing Deion Jones at times, right? But that does make so much more sense, because I even told you about, man, just how difficult it is when you're playing in the front seven in terms of being an inside linebacker, and you're having to get on a moving train and just hear the verbiage and the different techniques and how everybody's doing all this stuff. That goes out the window for him, because now it's more so of a refresher course instead of him being taught something totally different. Yeah, he's going to be able to have an impact a lot sooner than I anticipated, man. I'm excited about it, bro, because, man, the more I'm watching, I'm just like, yo, this is a good pick. And I forgot, too, that he tore his ACL. It was in the preseason of last year. So this was his first time being back out there. He talked about that as well, just saying how early on this season he was nervous. He said, man, because he didn't get the preseason. He didn't get the offseason to see what the knee felt like. You know, he's like, I'm running around just by myself is different than actually like the push and pull of a game. And he said he was timid early on, but he said now he feels like he's playing his legit best ball, man. He doesn't worry about the knee anymore. I was going to say
he doesn't feel like he lost a step.
Yeah, he said he doesn't feel like he lost a step. He feels like he told me that he feels he's playing the best ball of his career right now. Athletically, he's not even thinking about it. He said early on he definitely was like favoring it, concerned, making sure that it was going to be structurally, strong, which is fully understandable. But now, man, I'm just like, man, hearing that and knowing what he's about to be a part of in terms of just a winning culture. I don't think people fully understand when you go from a losing culture to a winning culture, just how it revitalizes you, how it makes you want to prepare. You hear how Joe Hayden speaks of the Steelers. You hear how I speak of the Steelers. We all can relate to being somewhere where it wasn't as good, and then you get to where it's really good, and it's just like, wow, it reignites that love of the game for you. So that's why when I'm thinking about Avery, I'm like, if you were already a good player and you've had some less favorable situations, because in Tennessee, he wasn't a part of them winning a lot down there either.
No.
This is going to be your first opportunity to be a part of a winning culture, to see what that is like, to go into games knowing that, hey, we're the favorite, knowing that as long as we got our quarterback, we're good. We're in every single game, knowing that, hey, we got a potential defensive player of the year candidate over here. Like all of those things, it gets you even more excited. It helps you just take the game that much more serious and enjoy it that much more. So that's why I'm really thinking that, man, he is going to do some things this year that are really going to just pop our eyes like, wow, like this is what we need right here, man.
Whoa.
I'm throwing it out there, bro. I'm throwing it out there, bro. I'm throwing it out there. I told you I was excited about him, man.
You really brought it home there at the end.
I'm excited about him, man. I'm sorry. I usually don't do this. I usually don't. I'm hyped though, bro.
Yeah, even after the trade with our reaction, we were just like, all right, this is a great trade. We only gave up 5th rounder. How long is it going to take, et cetera, et cetera? Is it going to be a rotation?
Right.
This is a different tune this week.
Absolutely, man. It's something about knowing that he was under LeBeau. And first off, to give context on LeBeau.
He must have sold you on the interview, too.
Well, but it was the interview. The interview was fun because he was literally like, yo, I just got here. Like, what are some of the things? And we're telling him, like, you got to go to Permane Brothers, like, get the sandwich, take the picture, like, doing the touristy stuff. And we're just kind of going back and forth, talking about the different things. And then it's this click. I'm like, dude, I'm just really loving his vibe right now. And then after that, we had a chance to talk to Boomer Esiason, right? And we know what Boomer, he's the guy. Like he follows this stuff. And especially in New York, like he's the big time media guy there. So he's covered Avery for a while. And hearing his, his just overall summary of Avery and the things that he thinks Avery's going to be able to do, it just made it even better. Because it's like, man, well, okay, I already feel that from watching it on tape. Avery's telling me this. Now Boomer, who has zero dog in this fight. I mean, Boomer doesn't have to vouch for this guy. He's not playing for the Jets anymore. He doesn't have to worry about seeing him or anything like that. But even hearing how Boomer spoke of him, I'm just like, dude, this could be it. I like it.
They said the Minka effect last year.
Yeah.
The Avery effect this year, I guess.
I like it, man. I'm excited, bro. Like I said, watching it on tape, it added to what they were saying.
You watched on tape.
Yeah. It was just like, oh yeah, I love what I'm seeing here. Now, like I said, granted, there are going to be some things where, okay, yeah, that's a growing parent there. Okay, that happens right there. But as a whole, I definitely think that he's going to be one of the impact guys as this thing progresses down the season, man.
Whoa. You got any more topics?
I'm just hoping that these games get played, man. We're seeing people closing down facilities. Just yesterday was it the Niners closed down their facility? They're supposed to play tonight.
Them and the Packers.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. Obviously, it'd be no Trent Williams, no Brandon Ayuk. They're both on the COVID list, and they're still doing all the contract tracing and stuff like that. I think the Texans also had a little situation in the Bears. I'm just hoping that we could just continue to get these games played. I need them to keep being played, baby, because I'm enjoying our setup right now. I'm enjoying when I just get to come home, not even come home, when it's on Sunday and I just kick back and I just got football on top of football. I need that, man.
Even tonight's game, I'm really enjoying the workflow of we got our podcast, we record.
Absolutely, man.
And then I go home. It's like, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever it is.
It's the perfect scenario, right?
I get our podcast ready, download whatever, send it to you, and then work on some other stuff, clipping up the videos. And then I got the Thursday night football game to get me through the night while I'm doing some of this stuff. So hopefully the game goes on tonight. I think all signs are pointing towards it. Niners, Packers. That's actually kind of like an interesting matchup, although Niners ain't the same.
Niners got Nick Mullins out there, man.
It ain't the same.
It goes away a little bit.
Yeah, never mind.
But if you're available, you could probably get on the field with the Niners right now. I mean, they banged up, baby.
Dude, I do kind of have that it factor.
I feel like you kind of, you got the beard going too, man. You ready?
I wonder what I would look like in an NFL uniform.
Oh, God. We could arrange that, though.
I guess we could.
We could. I'm just saying we could. That's for another day, though, man. I got one hot topic left, though.
I got two. Maybe one of them's the same.
Okay. I'm looking forward to AV's performance, man.
I
can't wait. I'm not gonna lie to you. He said that he's a better person now, and I'm sold. I believe you, AB. I believe you. All right. So the fact that we're gonna get some AB action this weekend as well. Yeah, buddy, I'm on cloud now right now. I got L Bell, I got Steelers, I got AB, I got the Holy Trinity going right now, man. I can't lose. I'm just saying, man.
You know he's going off.
Oh, without a doubt, I guess. I'm just so hyped, bro. I'm hyped.
Dude, yeah, the press conference. I listened to a couple of his answers. He's got the Tom Brady hat on.
Mm-hmm. And he's living with Brady. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Dude, you know what it is. I mean, we were talking about this whenever we reacted to the news. They're stacked now. I mean,
absolutely, man.
AB
offense, defense, they have a ton over there, man.
AB is AB. They have Mike Evans, Godwin already. You have Brady playing some really good football right now.
You even had Gronk even giving us some little Gronk action.
Yeah, he's coming back
Monday
too.
Night, man. So
he's been his last 4 or 5 games have been pretty good.
Really well. Absolutely, man.
So yeah, they're the favorite in the NFC, and I don't know how you could expect anything else,
bro. Oh, I'm excited, man. I'm getting 2016, 17 vibes again, man. Of just I get to see the guys just do what they do. I'm excited.
The Steelers as a team, and then you get to see our two-star players.
Absolutely, man. Because I was the killer bees, you know what I mean? I know Bing gonna do what he does. I'm not worried about him. The Steelers are taking care of business. So I know L. Bell, he looked fine with Kansas City. I was like, oh man, it's different when you're in a nice offense again, man. You look good again.
It's weird. It's a weird feeling because you just man, it's just hard.
What could have been?
Yeah, it's the what could have been, and it's like, man, I wish you guys were still back on the Steelers.
Hey, man.
Unfinished business. You know, I was talking the return.
Hashtag the return.
But yeah, as players, like
I'm excited, bro.
There's no hard feelings. You got to do what's best for you and your career and all that type of stuff. So I'm a live and let live type of guy. So
and for me, it's always different because
as long as it's not affecting us, the Steelers.
Yeah. For me, it's never gonna be wishing bad on them because we were in that locker room 4 years together. It's a different vibe for me always. Whereas I'm sure some fans would be like, man, heck, I'm not excited to see AB. I don't want to see those guys do well. For me, man, it's a different vibe, man. It's a different vibe. But I'm just overall, like I said, I'm just excited that my man's back in the league, man. It looks like his head is on the right, his head's in the right place. I like the fact that Brady took him under his wing and has him in his house. Even though Brady did kind of embellish, talking about he got this big move across the state. Man, you going from Miami to Tampa. It ain't that big of a move, baby.
I swear they lived together whenever he first signed up.
In England, they did, yeah. but Brady, that was his whole reason to justify it. He's like, man, I just want AB to know he has somebody he can count on, man. This is a big move for him, man. It changes a lot. I'm like, bro,
those
it's
guys
right up the road,
those
man.
guys are like best friends, dude.
I don't even want to get into how that whole dynamic works.
Wait, what do you mean? Are you like questioning it?
No. I'm just saying, like, just in general. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But other than that, man,
this is. I mean,
too, right?
Well, yeah, this is what we've been talking about with AB. It's just good for him, man. Just with everything that's happened, the full past year and a half, for him to be in this situation, like you said, it seems like in a good place, just as a person.
I was going to ask though, do you have a stat prediction for him? Stat line.
Well, I actually looked this up. The over under is 4 yards. I think it's 57 yards. Ooh. He had 56 yards in his debut at the Patriots.
56 yards, 3 first downs and a touchdown, right? Because
I don't remember. I don't know the first down.
Yeah,
thing.
It's either 2 or 3 of those catches were first down catches. I remember them making a big deal about.
Well, is one of their main receivers? Are they going to be out? I'm not too up to date on that.
He come back from surgery. He had hand surgery, so that's why he didn't play last week.
Is he going to be out?
And I think he's out for maybe 1 or 2 more weeks tops, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he's out, I would definitely take the over.
Yeah.
If he's out. If he's in, that makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah, well, they still have the other receiver as well.
Scotty Miller.
Yes, yeah. I was like, what is his name? Scotty Miller, absolutely. So they got some guys down there, man. I think so. So you're going with what?
I'll take the over. It's AB.
You're just going strictly over. I'm giving an exact stat line.
Whoa.
All right, here we go. Let me pull on my prediction hat. All right, we're good to go here. 3 catches, 60 yards.
Whoa.
1 touchdown.
What's the touchdown?
20-yard fade ball.
What's
out of the slot though? Out of the slot. I'm seeing the left though.
Okay.
Seeing him line up on the left slot, running a fade route on one of those nickel corners, third corners. Because obviously, the way they're going to use him early, I anticipate them using him more in the slot. Yeah, he just takes full advantage of that, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saints rematch from week 1 here too.
Absolutely.
That should be a good match. Is that it?
And you know what else though in that matchup?
What?
AB's really gonna want to go off because
against the Saints.
Yeah, well, you got. I mean, I'm anticipating Emmanuel Sanders telling him, hey man, I got paid first. Remember, you only got paid because I left. Like I'm the man.
Is that what he's saying?
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you that I'm still better than you right now. And
That's
I anticipate. I know, but let me fabricate my narrative here, all right? And I anticipate AB saying, well, look, you know what? Call God, I'm booming today. And Brady, because Brady's going to want to outduel Breeze, so he's going to want to air it out. And because he had the rough first go at it, he's really going to...
That's a given.
Yeah, he's really going to want to show him up. So I just feel like it's the perfect scenario, man. So I'm calling it now, baby.
Okay.
So yeah,
little talk before the game.
I gotta have a little chop. Hey, remember, I was the real young man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got paid because I left. You know what I mean? You lucky.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. and then he might be like, you lucky me and Mike left.
they ain't on AB's level.
I'm just saying, man. I just see it right now. He's call him then. Call him. What's up? And Michael Thomas, don't think I forgot about you either. Like that's the scenario I think I see, man. Because Michael
Is he playing?
No, he's still. I think. He's still
Jeez, man. Dude.
If he does come back, he's still banged up, man. He's been dealing with the ankle for a minute now.
Yeah,
man.
the Michael Thomas would be a good one. It's like, all right, is AB still the best, even though he's out of here?
But trust me, man, he gonna show them all. And AB wants to show that. Show Mike Evans. Look, Mike, it was cool, but I'm the number one guy now. I'm the captain now. And I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm all for it, baby. Let's get it.
The last hot topic. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if it's a hot topic. I just think it's actually just truth. This is how it should be. But Tomlin he's head for Coach of the Year right now. He is the best odds. They just said, I don't know if it just turned recently or somehow now it's getting publicity, but Tomlin is the odds-on favorite to win Coach of the Year. Do you have a reaction to it? Because in my opinion, it makes common sense. We're 7-0. With everything that happened last year, they're even saying Tomlin was in the mix, us going 8-8. The storyline's there, the narratives are there. It makes complete sense as to why Tomlin should be the odds-on favorite.
I don't care about any of those awards because we all know that just how it doesn't make a lot of sense when we talk about just Tomlin's track record, the fact that he hasn't won one, but then you also see where just to break down how these awards don't really make sense, right? You get a year where Mahomes is the league MVP, sets the league on absolute fire, breaks records, and goes crazy, but doesn't win Offensive Player of the Year. How does that work? Like, if the offensive player is good enough to be the MVP of the league, he should also be the Offensive Player of the Year. There isn't a rule that says you can't win multiple awards. So for me, when we think about the awards, that's just how I view it. I'm just like, whatever, man, because it was a point last year when the Steelers were 8-5 at one point. Oh, Tom was the front runner, and we talked about the adversity and how just the fact that he had him in that position alone should have been enough. Yeah, I don't deep dive into all that, and even Belichick. I'm like, man, we've known how dominant Belichick has been at times in New England, and still with that, he still doesn't win enough of it, man. It's not the LeBron effect, but just from that standpoint of, man, you're so accustomed to these guys being elite that even a 13-win season for them, it doesn't garner the same type of attention as if Cleveland, for example, had a 13-3 season, they would be going crazy, winning every single award. So that's how I feel about that stuff, man.
Cancel the awards?
You don't have to cancel. I'm sure people like it. It's a moneymaker in terms of people tuning in. Gives us content to talk about, so don't cancel it. It's kind of like the Pro Bowl to me. Like, it's cool. I understand, like, the significance of it, but it's flaws in the system. That's all.
Well, even with all that being said, I still think Tomlin should be the front runner. Good for him. Good for the odds makers and finally recognizing it. If you didn't recognize it before, if you did recognize it before, shout out to the people, the publicists and the writers now giving it attention.
What is recognizing it? Because like I said, last year they talked about it, but that didn't equate to him winning it. If he's not winning it, I don't really care. Like,
well, either way, I think it's good, just like publicity saying like, yo, Tomlin's a really good coach. Because a lot of times, how many times have we talked about it? Like,
true.
Like, the coach will take all the blame if like we lose a game or two, but we're winning, we're 7-0, and like there hasn't really been much of a peep. Like, yo, Tomlin's doing a really good job coaching here.
I agree, man.
If we're 7-0, he's the leader of the football team. All right, yeah,
me, I agree.
Let's give him some credit.
My thing is, I just know how these things go, man. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen Coach Tomlin do some crazy things from a record standpoint, or going on a run standpoint, or having the storylines and narrative standpoint. We've seen that numerous times throughout his career, and it still has equaled what in terms of those votes, man. So
he doesn't have one
in terms of a vote or
a coach of the year.
No, he doesn't have a coach of the year.
Really?
No. Nope. So that's my thing. I'm just
not our Super Bowl year.
Nope. Exactly. You think about all the years we've had, all the success that he's had, regular season, not even playoff success, regular
even
season success.
Even the 13-3 year.
He hasn't had one, man. It's like it's a waste. Yeah.
Well, I said cancel the awards. Well, no, hold on. I mean, if we do that, all that matters is championships. And isn't that what matters at the end of the day?
Yeah, but when you actually look at like how many people have championships, I mean, the fact that he has how many, I think that's a big time boost as well.
Who, Tomlin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got championship.
I just said the fact that he has how many is a big time boost. It was a positive thing.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Dude, come on, man. Stop being defensive of my coach.
No. I'm not. No, I'm not at all. Okay. Well, yeah. I think that's about it here.
So yeah. We'll see though, man. I was trying to see the records of who else has one. I think Harbaugh has one, right? Yeah,
I don't.
He had one thing was it 2012? That was the year where they had that crazy run with Flacco. Whatever that year was, he won it that year. So yeah, but that's how I feel about those awards, man. I don't care about them.
Okay, understood.
I like it though, man. Anything else? Any other hot topics, man? Anything else?
No, those were the two on my mind. I said,
I like it then.
You know, as much as you just kind of want to focus on the Steelers, I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably be tuning into some AB this weekend.
I'm definitely tuning into AB. I don't care what no one says. Same way I watched L Bell last week. Y'all ain't about to rob me from my enjoyment. Nope. Nah. I'm enjoying. Those my guys. So yeah. That being said, man, it was a blast. Shout out to everybody for tuning in. Shout out to all the subscribers, man. And until next time.
Base.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen. I am excited about this next guest. Man, we saw him make big time play after big time play last week against the Ravens. He was the 6th round draft pick in the 2019 draft out of the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. Defensive lineman of your Pittsburgh Steelers, Mr. Isaiah Buggs. Isaiah, what's up, man? How are you doing today?
What's going on, man? I'm doing good. You?
Man, I'm doing well, man. We just excited about the opportunity to talk to you. Obviously, man, we're seeing you come off of a crazy performance, man. So we're just excited for you to be here, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely excited, man. I'm glad I'm with the Steelers, man. It's a great place, great program. I wouldn't rather be no other place.
Man, I love it, man. And just talk a little bit, too, man. You guys are sitting at 7-0, right? We've seen the adversity y'all have had to overcome, whether it was the moving of bye weeks, some of the injuries you've had on offense and defense. So just talk about how y'all have been able to handle the adversity and stay, on the tracks right now.
Man, we always about the next man up mentality. Everybody around here gets the same amount of reps. We practice at each position, heavily. We do it hard. These coaches draw up a good game plan week in and week out for us. So it's just our job to execute it. And that's what we've been doing. We've been executing things very well, and we got to continue to be dominant in that aspect.
I like that. And now you talked a little bit about the next man up element of it. And we know Coach Tomlin. I mean, anyone that's sat in the room with Coach Tomlin, you're going to hear next man up a lot. And obviously you've been personifying that, man, this season. Every time you've had an opportunity, you've produced it a big time way. So just talk about your mentality, as the next man up.
It's just motivation, and it should be exciting for anybody to get their number called, not going from playing as much to playing a lot. It's just about earning the coach's trust, and they can believe in you. And once you get that, it's balls out to the wall, man. You just got to contribute, do what they ask you to do, and be dominant. And once you do that, everybody's in favor of you. Everybody can trust you and put you on the field.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now, could you talk about Coach Dunbar? He was your defensive line coach back in Alabama, and now he's your defensive line coach here in Pittsburgh. Has there been any word that maybe he had a little extra say in the Steelers drafting you?
It may could have, and it may could have been.
You haven't
I
heard
didn't
anything?
know at all. I was just on draft day. I was just waiting on the call, man, and hoping that I got a call from anywhere. Just get an opportunity. To live out my dreams, and I'm glad it came true.
I like that, man.
Now, what type of impact has he had on you, being the coach in both places?
Man, Coach Dunbar is a great coach, in every way of coaching. He's a great person on the field and off the field. One of the best D-line coach I ever had so far. He does everything right, from every detail, and it's just fun being in the same room with him and those guys that I'm with. It's a blessing to be here.
Major respect on that, man. And just talking about some of the guys in that room with you, obviously Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, and Tyson Aluwalu. Just talk about, man, what it's been like having the opportunity to learn from those guys and being share a meeting room with them and stuff like that.
Man, my first year here was kind of rough on me because I was itching to play. And I really didn't understand that, this is not college, just the NFL guys here have their contracts. You got to wait your turn to play. And, so I always looked up to those guys and watched those guys and the way how they practice and the way how they move. And I always wanted to be like those guys. Those guys have numbers of years in the league. And hopefully one day I can be able to say I played 10 plus years like those guys, just falling in line behind those great leaders. That's the only way to be successful.
Now, do you have a favorite or best Nick Saban story?
Coach Saban all around is just great, man. I It's so many I can tell you. You just got to be around him in order to see and get to know him, man. If you've been around him, you'll know how you get down.
Now, he always looks serious. Is he serious always, man, or does he have like a lighter side, man?
He always serious, man. He always has that look, but he's a great coach, though. No, he's a great person. You know, he really, you know, is what he is on TV. He's serious about the work. He's serious about the preparation, about the coaching. You know, but on the other end, though, he's a nice guy. You know, he cares about his players. You know, and he treats everybody fairly. But when it comes to work, he's locked in about his work and he's serious.
Now, is there something that you take away from your time being with him, whether it's him as an individual or something he said that I guess you think about even to this day, whether it's life advice for football, whatever?
Just, you know, Coach Saban, he's just, you know, he's always going to be honest with you. He reminds me of Mike T a lot. You know, he's going to come with you with the honesty. He's not going to sugarcoat. He's not going to beat around the bush. And, you know, it just depends on how you take it, man. You can take it as it is what it is, but he's going to let you know the truth, just like Mike T. So that's a good thing about Coach Saban and some decisions involving around defenses and playing for him. Just the same way as Mike T.
And now transition a little bit back to you on the field. Every time I watch you on tape, you have the most energy. I'm talking, man, it doesn't matter if it was a run play, you made a tackle, if it was a pass play, you're always bouncing around. You just got this infectious energy that shows up on tape. And for most D linemen, it's the opposite. Most of those y'all guys, you know, you're not trying to waste too much energy in that regard. So just talk about your overall passion for the game and where all that comes from, man.
Man, it's just loving to play the game, man. You know, a guy like me was drafted in the 6th round and waiting the opportunity, even in his 2nd year, you know, finally get a hat. I mean, who wouldn't be excited to make plays to show that, hey, I can play with these guys. I can be on the field. I'm going to let my presence be known, and you're going to feel my energy. So, man, that's just me. I was just excited to get out there to be able to make plays, especially against a rival team like that. You know, I was just excited, and they was excited for me. They was happy for me, and every time I looked at the sideline, and seeing that those coaches believed in me, it just made me even more excited and just to go harder. So I'm just going to get that a lot from me.
Hey, I love it, man. Keep it going. Like I said, watching you on tape, you see it, and you can see the guys around you feed off of that, man.
I was looking into some of your backstory, and we had Steven Nelson on last week, and he went to a JUCO, like community college, like you, coming out of high school. Could you talk about just that story behind going from high school to community college, then to Alabama? You didn't get, from what I read, too many offers coming out of high school. Just where was football in your life at that point? What were you thinking about? Was NFL still a dream of yours I guess, finally end up where you are right now?
I mean, coming out of high school, I was a great player, man. I played defensive end in high school. I didn't have any offers in high school. I graduated on time. I didn't have any offers. And, you know, I had to get a job. You know, I was working at Super One Foods. And I finally got, you know, a call from a junior college. And I was like, hey, I really don't want to go to junior college, but I had to go make something out of nothing. I went to junior college and played there for a year and a half, Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. And that was a great place. You know, that place showed me and taught me how to be a man. I didn't have all the expensive things and all the great foods, you know, and the living environment that I was at Alabama. You know, I stayed in a dorm with 3 guys, you know, and we all had a different bed in each room. You know, that's just junior college. And if anybody ever, you know, been to junior college, they can give you that story. They can tell you that, hey, junior college is rough. Not too many people make it out of there. So when I went there, you know, I was locked in. I balled out. I did what I was supposed to do in the book sport, and you know, I just got offers from all over, and I chose Alabama. So junior college really taught me how to be a man, and it humbled me in such a way.
Man, I could definitely respect that.
That's crazy. What do you think was the difference between getting no offers than Alabama after a year and a half at JUCO?
You know, it's just work ethic for me, man. Like, you can't get complacent. Even now, though, I'm always trying to find ways to get better, you know. And when I was at junior college, and we played on Thursdays, so, you know, we only had probably 1,500 fans in the stand.
Oh, man, the Thursday
so, you know,
games.
that's like, we played on Thursdays and then wake up on that Saturday seeing these big schools playing Alabama, LSU, Auburn, and all these big schools playing. Like, if that don't excite you to reach that point where you can play on Saturdays, like, what are you even playing for? That was my thought in junior college. And then the next day, seeing NFL football, that all that stuff motivated me, man. I had a game on a Thursday, so I had the weekend to see other people's on a bigger spotlight. Nobody know nothing about junior college. So that just motivated me, man, to get to that level. And when I did, I'm still continuing to work my tail off.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah, man. And keep doing what you're doing, man. We're loving it right now, man. Now, obviously, you got the game coming up this weekend, man, the Dallas Cowboys. So just talk about your thoughts about them as a team. And ultimately, man, what y'all guys have to do to get the victory this weekend?
Like I said, these coaches got a great game plan lined up for us. We got to execute it. We got to stop the run. We got to play run sound defense. They don't have a quarterback. They're going in with their third string quarterback. We just got to be ready for anything. It's going to be a lot of triggeration going on. It's just all or nothing right now for them. So we just got to continue to play Pittsburgh Steelers football, and we cannot have any slip-ups. We follow the game plan that these coaches got instructed for us. We're gonna be fine.
I like it. You want to tell us any secrets or not?
Ain't no secret to it. Pittsburgh Steelers football. That's the secret.
I love it.
Now, I was reading online. You're a pretty good basketball player, no?
Yeah.
How would you rank
humbleness in here? Yeah.
How would you rank yourself amongst the Steelers team?
We had a cookout this past summer, my first year when I got drafted at Cam's house, and we all played basketball there. And everybody was kind of shocked that I could move and play basketball the way that I could. I played basketball, coming up in high school. I was one of the stars in high school. I played AAU ball. But, I'm only 6'4", and, when it come down to it, NBA player 6'10", almost 7 foot, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to hang in with that. So, but I was a very good athlete, man. I love basketball. If I have a chance to play it today, I'll still play it, just for fun. But I love basketball, man. It's a great sport and conditioning aspect and mobility, so I always played that. I just translated that over to the field in high school.
So are you the best?
I know Cam got something to say. I know Cam going to have something to say. I'm throwing it out there now. Cam going to have something to say about this.
Top 3, top 5?
You said what?
Are you the best on the Steelers? Are you top 3, top 5? How would you rank yourself?
I'm most definitely. I'm confident in myself now when it comes to basketball. Me and Wobble had this conversation last year. He thought he was better than me. I had to cook him out there at Cam out.
Wobble got all the confidence when it comes to the game, and you're like, bro, you not like that. You are not like that.
Yeah, I gotta have cover. I take myself now.
I like that, man. Now, throughout your career, man, obviously you played JUCO, you played at Alabama, you've been in the NFL now. Just talk about the best player that you've played against, though, man.
Man, the best player that I played against so far, is, I would say, Lamar. Lamar is one of those top-notch quarterbacks that everybody wish they could to get a hand on. And it's hard to get a hand on Lamar, man. Just so shifty, so fast, quick. Lamar is the face of the game right now. Between him and Patrick Mahomes being so young at these quarterback positions, man, that's every defensive lineman dream to even sack, or even get a hand on one of those two guys. And I just studied film the whole week on him, man. And it's just great to be able to get a chance to do that.
I like
so far, Lamar has been that top guy.
Respect, man. And like I said, you did a great job of getting after him, man, this past game, man. So definitely going to keep that going. Now, the last question we got before we let you get up out of here, man. You're welcome to the NFL moment.
My welcome to the NFL moment. My first year, my rookie year, I didn't know. I didn't know about all the food and about all the dinners and all that stuff that I had to pay for. That I wasn't looking forward to Saturdays before we got ready to leave the trip. I had to bring the food, man. The Chick-fil-A, man. I was spending at least $1,000 worth of Chick-fil-A every Saturday. Man, it came down. I had to buy all the dinners for treatment night. I had to buy all the dinners pay for the dinners and at the games and stuff like that. And then the rookie dinner. That was
it hurts.
Something that I don't want to do again. something that I don't want to do again. See it to it, order all those oysters, man. I'm like, bro, you're not even gonna eat all that, like, man. But yeah, that was my welcome to the NFL moment. When I got that tab, I still got a screenshot of that tab till this day. I'm like, oh no, I cannot do that again.
Man, Isaiah, man, you have been a blast. We definitely appreciate you again. Wish you nothing but the best going forward, man. Stay healthy and keep being great.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on.
No doubt.
And that segment was brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. And when we talk about DraftKings Sportsbook, man, I love it because, number one, the prop bets that they have, the live betting that they have. I mean, it's just so many ways for you to get a chance at winning money, which we all love, right? I just need a chance. Just give me a chance.
Make Sundays fun, too.
Absolutely, man. And that's the beauty of it. Also, did you know that if you're in a state where sportsbook isn't allowed, just right, because we know it's not allowed everywhere, you want to tell them what they got?
Oh, the fantasy app.
Oh, yeah, DraftKings fantasy app. I mean, dude, you talking about an app that has $1 million worth of prizes every single week. Let me say that again. $1 million worth of prizes every single week. I mean, come on, bro. For all that, I'm about to start playing fantasy football again, man, because I need that opportunity, okay? So if you're not...
Both of us will come out of retirement.
Absolutely. So if you haven't got the DraftKings app just yet, man, download it now. Do not waste another second. And make sure you use the promo code Moats so you can receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonuses, baby. So thanks again, and whatever you do, download the app.